All right, we're back. This is another episode of Xbox Talks where we've kind of done a little bit of a format shift lately. Maybe you've noticed we're working on maybe some shorter episodes, a little more focused content, trying to cover the news as it happens and just keeping you all informed, in a different kind of way than maybe having to surf through Reddit and find all the top posts. We'll kind of try to find them for you. So today I joined by someone. Last time I had to go solo. That was a little weird. Thanks for those who listened, and I'm happy to have Ivan with me, Grimprovise in the communities. And how you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks. A little less exciting than the last time I was here, but still some good news bits that we had to share with you. Including I guess maybe not all that less exciting because there was an ABK development today, Activision Blizzard King. Finally, and it's not done yet, but it's pretty close to done. Finally, we have some movement on the UK CMA side of things where the headline is new Microsoft Activision deal addresses previous CMA concerns in cloud gaming. This is from a direct release from the CMA, and I feel if you read the response here, it's a little catty still. The CMA has kind of had their claws out this entire case, trying to maybe make an example. They got some concessions. They get to kind of wave a victory flag here. They got Microsoft to bend a little bit, and I think the big takeaway is that Ubisoft is going to have the cloud rights for the Activision Blizzard King games and in the UK at least, and it seems to be a win. It seems to be for Microsoft and moving this process forward. So I think we have a few more days to take comment. Can you imagine? Is there anything that they haven't heard? Like they need more time.
I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I kind of already saw that it was going to be projected to October anyway, regardless. So I guess it's nice that it closed sooner than that. So at least we know, like within a month, it's basically a sealed deal because they could have waited till the 11th hour. So I do think it's going well just based on that. But yeah, very strange that we still have to wait till October when it seems like all lights are green. It's odd.
Yeah, so October 6th, Friday, it says here in the document, or their release, I should say, it's not even a document. Microsoft also requires permission from the CMA to buy any part of Activision following the prohibition of the deal. The CAA has also launched a separate consultation to inform its decision on whether to grant the permission to buy Activision to move forward. Both consultations will remain open until Friday, October 6th. All media, it's just weird that they want to take more comment on this basically after the fact. I did want to read Sarah Cardell's, she's the CEO of the CMA. Is that really her title? Chief Executive Officer? Is that what that stands for? It's usually normally held for businesses. Maybe it's something else. Anyways, here's her quote in response to this. The CMA's position has been consistent throughout. The merger could only go ahead if competition, innovation, and choice in cloud gaming was preserved. In response to our original prohibition, Microsoft has now substantially restructured the deal, taking the necessary steps to address our concerns, which seems pretty reasonable. Okay, but she kind of digs in a little bit more. It would have been far better, though, if Microsoft had put forward this restructure during our original investigation. This case illustrates the cost, uncertainty, and delay that parties can incur if a credible and effective remedy option exists, but is not put at the table at the right time. So, this is just...
Well, I remember before when we were talking about this, right? Like before it even got to this point, like back when it was just FTC versus Microsoft, it felt like they were trying to make like an example of like these big companies, like, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this.
Yep.
And it's like, in some ways, it's like, oh, well, if they just, bend at the knee early, this wouldn't have happened. So it's like, even though they technically lost, they're still trying to get like a W out of it. It's really interesting, like kind of verbiage, I guess. But yeah, it's like, mess around, find out, but yet they're still getting Activision Blizzard. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was kind of like they just needed some kind of symbolic win or something like that. Your mic was a little distorted right there. I don't know if you want to like quick unplug it and plug it back in, if that's an option for you. All right. But we were able to make out what you were saying. So it is kind of, it was like they needed a small win. It was just, and they got it. But the fact that she kind of gloated about it there in the response is really weird to me. And I'm sure Microsoft will have their own response to this. But even early on, when she's saying that Microsoft should have proposed this remedy, Microsoft wasn't sure what they were going to bring back to the table with their complaint when they decided to hold this up. some of us might remember originally. Oh, hold on, we have a late joining guest. It's gonna throw the cams off, but that doesn't really matter all that much. Wait, I can fix it. Hold on.
Is my mic working now? By the way,
No, is it me?
it's actually worse.
I'll have Kevin. No, it's the same thing. It sounds like a little bit Darth Vader-y. I'll have Kevin see if he can help out when he joins in here. I don't know if that could be on my end or not, but we are being joined by Kevin. He's booting in here if you'll hold on, Korkenstein from the communities. But anyways, going back to the early days of the CMA, the focus really seemed to be Call of Duty, and it wasn't the cloud gaming. So the cloud gaming, when the CMA originally held this up, it was almost out of left field. It was like they brought this weird complaint that nobody really thought they were going to focus on, and all of a sudden they were just like, "What, cloud? Out of all the things that you're going to hold this up on, it's going to be cloud." And what Sarah's saying here is that, well, Microsoft should have had the foresight to already have that remedy on the table when they originally brought these complaints, or should have been able to work this deal, like, I guess immediately. That would be really odd. So, hello.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good. Doing an audio show. Yeah, you sound pretty good. But we're gonna do a quick mic check here on the air, so bear with us. Testing.
Did I ever fix mine, or is it still messed up?
Sounds better. And like I said, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good here. So we were just talking about the CMA, Kevin, and we were just kind of updating on that. And did you have anything that maybe that you picked up over the night? It's kind of breaking news today that they've moved forward, and we just we're trying to recap it real quick for the listeners.
Oh, I don't hear him. Do you hear him?
Nope, I don't hear him either. Oh.
Check. There we go. No, sorry, my cable gets a little...
It happened again.
I picked it up when it came out last night, and that's why I posted it, because I was still awake.
Yeah, nice. So it was kind of, we got you. We hear you now. So I think everything level. Pardon our technical difficulties. It happens sometimes on these live shows. Liver.
Oh, wait, are we going live right now?
No, we're not live, but we are recording right now. So we're kind of rolling with it. So you just kind of parachuted on in here, like Rambo.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were going at our normal time or anything. Like, I just barely got back into town like 30 minutes ago, so I just barely flew in.
Yeah, I appreciate you jumping in. We're just, we're just flying by the seat of our pants like usual. So, anyways, I just kind of put a bow tie on that, or a bow on it. I did that last week too. Things are moving forward. We'll know in early October. Hopefully, we'll get the closing details on it then, and after that, I think things are like truly free to move forward, and we might start getting news about the plans post acquisition, which I know a lot of people are curious about. One of the stories this week is we saw internal documents related to Game Pass, and World of Warcraft was listed as a point of growth by Xbox and like their first chart. And we also know that it's World of Warcraft's 20th anniversary coming up, I believe, next month, and BlizzCon is back in person for the first time in several years at about that same time. So I don't want to get hopes up, because there are a lot of people who had hopes up at the Tokyo Game Show and Final Fantasy, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But there's a lot of indications here that maybe they're finally ready to move World of Warcraft, if not into the console space, at least taking some different avenues with it, and having it linked with Game Pass. It really brings a bunch of questions to mind. Is this some kind of subscription package, where maybe there's the premium tier of Game Pass also gets you World of Warcraft subscription time? If Microsoft owns them, that's certainly a possibility, and what a wild thought that is. And we also know that Final Fantasy 14 is starting open beta access. I don't know if it's open, but preview kind of beta access on Xbox starting next month as well. So we've been waiting for years for MMOs to come to consoles, and like the major ones, and we might get a double whammy here. So
it was cool, yeah, because they had DCO for a while. That was actually a lot of fun. They've had Elder Scrolls, but it's never been something massive like the two biggest, which is Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. But I mean, it's always good. More MMOs, more people to play.
Yeah, and
isn't DC? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, no disrespect meant to Elder Scrolls Online. That is certainly one of the top MMOs out there. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't DC Universe getting like a Series X and PS5 version as well? Like, that thing seems to be just ported everywhere now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, there's Star Trek Online. There's There are
Oh
some,
yeah,
like,
Star Trek. I forgot
I
about
don't want
that.
to call them lesser, but there are some other MMOs that are on there. Just certainly not as popular as the big guns, like Kevin just said. So we'll be keeping our
Yeah.
ears open for more news on either of those fronts. And let me ask you guys, if the beta is available to you on Xbox for Final Fantasy 14. I know I've talked to Grim about this previously. He has experience with the game, but would you try it out on Xbox? Does that entice you as a previous player or as a new player?
Oh yeah,
It does for
100%.
me. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the only thing I would hope for, which seems to be really friendly with Xbox in general, like I noticed it with like Paladins games like that, is if the achievements will pop, because like
Oh,
on PlayStation, right? Like so Steam doesn't have them, right? There's no achievements for Final Fantasy, but on PlayStation, if I was playing on Steam for 100 hours or whatever, and I leveled up, did certain things, as soon as I log into like PlayStation, maybe I do one battle or something like that, all of a sudden everything pops that I basically did. So it would be weird to bring over these characters I have like thousands of hours into onto Xbox, load it up, and be like, well, now I'm just locked out of achievements because I messed up. I should have just started a new character. you know?
I wonder if they'll just auto pop. That seems to be, like you're saying, kind of a situation that's happened in the past of other games, with cross save enabled anyway. So, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm kind of, I guess my biggest interest in it is the social aspect of it. I want to see if guilds and Xbox themed guilds might take hold. I think that's something kind of maybe unique that really hasn't happened on the Xbox platform yet, is having a large social group like that. Now I know Destiny and Diablo and all these games have certain kind of social aspects to them, but it's nothing like an MMO. Like if you know like an MMO clan or guild, they have entire websites dedicated with their own it becomes a very massive and very uh, uh, encompassing thing. I don't involving, engaging. I don't know how to put it. There's nothing that quite matches the social mechanics of an MMO group trying to work together. You know, I'm excited for it. If you can't tell, I can barely get the words out. So I can't wait to see both those games. Hopefully, at least one of them for sure. So, did we want to talk about the Tokyo Game Show? I think that we could recap that for everybody and kind of in case you missed it this week. I know a lot of our listeners don't trove through the Xbox news every day like we do, so hopefully we can help catch you all up on what happened. So first of all, there was a lot of hype building up to the Tokyo Game Show from Xbox themselves. I forget the mouthpieces that spoke about it, but they said we have some big announcements and stuff. So do you guys think that from the news that you saw, was there anything that caught your eye? Maybe we can start with that. Like, what was the most exciting thing to come out of it for you?
For me, it was just how much like Game Pass support there was, like for like a Dragon, Ishin, and also Gaiden now coming to Game Pass. Like, well, Gaiden day one and Ishin when I guess it's available. It's like things like that is just wild. I like that Xbox is really pairing up with that franchise in general because I think it's a great franchise that a lot of people wouldn't probably buy otherwise, but it's something that just engrosses you. Like as soon as you're like, oh, I'll give this a shot. I heard things, then you become a fan for life. It's such a great series, and I'm glad that even some of these like offshoot ones, like Ishin, is getting more attention because I thought that was fun. And, like no one was playing it. I'm like, why didn't you pick this up?
Yeah, for
Yeah, for
sure.
me, I would say probably the biggest one, which you guys can all thank me for, is Phoenix Wright coming to Game Pass because I did buy it on the last sale. So everyone here can thank me for that. Just kind of joking, but I mean, usually that's how it always works, right? You see something on sale, you're like, all right, I'm gonna pull the trigger, and then like 2 weeks later, it comes onto Game Pass. I would say I agree with Grim. The Yakuza stuff hitting Game Pass day one, that's pretty big stuff. It's such a big series that was always kind of locked behind another ecosystem. So seeing Sega, or not Sega, the Yakuza developers, what is it? I can't getting Ryu something, I think is their studio. Yeah, the fact that they're embracing Game Pass and they're such a big Japanese developer that's been prevalent for so many years, I think it's pretty awesome. That it just shows the true strength of what Game Pass is doing and how it's opening up doors. So yeah, Yakuza for me was the big one.
I'm a person that would have never bought Yakuza, but I played it on Game Pass, and I've spoken about it on here before. I fell in love with it. It's a series that I want. There's so much to play. I can't invest the time. I wish I could play through all of them. but it's definitely one that I keep on my hard drive, and when I catch that right rainy day, I'll be right back in there. It's just so different than anything else that's out there. Kind of like Ivan was saying, in a lot of ways. It's just such a fun game. You just I can't even explain it. It's just one of those games you have to experience. And people told me for years, they're like, "You gotta try it out. You gotta try it out." I'm like, "Yeah, and then you try it out, and then you understand. Like, you really do have to experience it. I think it's one of those kind of titles. So yeah, that was big news. Something else we saw, we got to see one of the Forza tracks. Which is set in Japan, which makes sense for the Tokyo Game Show. And the name of the track was I had it here right in front of me, but I lost it. But I'll pull up a little preview of it right now while we talk about it. Are you guys excited? I know that preload is available right now for Forza. You can download it. I think it's like 110 gigabytes. I think we talked about the Horizon versus Motorsport debate on here a few times in episodes past, but I'm a Motorsport guy. But are you guys going to download it with everything else that's going on right now? Or are you going to make time to play Motorsport 8?
I think I will. I mean, at the moment, I'm like juggling a few things. Like I still haven't gotten to Liza P because I ended up getting caught up in NBA 2K. But I'm hoping by the time, Forza comes out, I'm like kind of, more at peace with putting time into 2K. And I've been just waiting for that game for so long because I'm also more of a motorsport fan. And I kind of use like Gran Turismo to sort of like band-aid what I was missing when I played Horizon. So, we'll see. I'm definitely excited. I just want to work on driving lines, making the best lap times, just simple things like that.
That's what it is, right? Just like that perfect corner, just hitting the apex just right and getting out of there at top speed. And, it can be the difference between going 2 miles an hour faster or slower. But when you're going down a big long straightaway, that it adds up and adds up. So I love that aspect of it too. That's why I'm a motorsport person. But the reason comes from Gran Turismo, the old PlayStation games and the license test, which I was happy to see back in the newest version. But that's what they challenge you to do. That's like, how fast can you take this corner? 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 13 seconds. And to get that gold medal, you really had to. It helped me understand real driving. That was the first game where I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, and obviously it's evolved ever since then. And that was very basic, but it taught me a few things. So I'm also excited for that.
I'm probably going to skip it. Not because it's a bad game. It's just there's so much on my plate right now. I mean, there's Lies of P, there's Party Animals, there's Payday 3, there's Starfield still. I still have to finish up my second playthrough and go on to my third. And that's just barely. I mean, Assassin's Creed comes out in October. I mean, it's just a massive amount of games. And it's not just, I've never been a big racing fan per se. But I mean, it's just definitely something I want to play. It's just definitely going to have to fall back on the list of things, which is a shame because it just looks so amazing.
What a wild contrast to last year at this time when everybody's like, where are the games? How come there's no exclusives? How come Xbox has no games? And now we can't, none of us can keep up with the content that's coming at us just on Xbox alone. It feels like, not even mentioning other platforms. So we did get an update on Fallout 76 Atlantic City. This is just going to be another expansion, if you will. It's coming to the public test server on October 3rd. So if you are playing 76 and you want to check it out, you can preview it very soon. Elder Scrolls Online also getting more content. Those games do keep going. We just spoke about Elder Scrolls Online and the MMO space. One of the best player bases out there if you play a game, and I've never been so helped in a game. Like, even it almost got to be annoying. I'm like, no, I got this. Thanks. No, I'm good, but it's all good. Like, people are just trying to recruit you to their groups and have fun with you, and that's appreciated. I think big news. This one is confirmed for Game Pass. We talked about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, a game I bought when it launched. I played the game on DS before, at the series, I should say, and I thought it would do very well. And we learned that this game did not sell very well on Xbox at all. So it's good to see that maybe this will expand the audience. What we were just talking about a game that this happened with. Might have lost Kevin there. We'll see what's up with that. But anyways, it's nice to see an expanded audience where people might be able to.
No, I just had to turn off my camera for a quick second. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Kevin's over there doing unscrupulous things. That's what's happening. So we'll just joking with you, bud. Here we go. This one I completely botched, and I thought it was a Japanese developer at the beginning, but I believe Grim corrected me here. It's Italian. I'm gonna murder. Can you pronounce the name for me? Do you know the game I'm speaking of? Althea,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Wrath of the
Althea, I
Fairy.
believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a lot of vowels in there, and it's kind of my thing. I'm like,
Oh.
yeah. Anybody play? Yeah. Apologies to anybody who's a fan or the developers. What do we know about this? Are you excited about it? Well, you talked about this a little bit, and you're kind of piquing my interest.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it like very briefly, and it seems like they were like talking about how you use, sort of like the bow and then the other characters like shape shifting ability to solve puzzles and make your way through typical action adventure stuff. And I don't know, it looks pretty cool. I like the idea. I hope it's like long, like not too long, but has a good bit of length to it because it does seem like a game that might be on the shorter side. Um, but maybe they can use those mechanics and really give you like a lot to think about towards the end of it, kind of like a Portal, Um, I'm hoping anyway, and I just love seeing games in that space because, you know, sometimes you just, especially as we're talking, there's so much AAA fatigue right now, like just so many games coming out. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Oh, let me play this like quick game real quick that like seems kind of neat. I don't know. It looks fun, and also Archer. Archers are always cool.
That's like an extra.
What game is this?
Althea?
Althea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Althea.
Althea.
Yeah. I'm trying to add an extra.
Can you post it
syllable
in
there.
the Talks Discord? The link to it?
Well, yeah, there's a. Hold on.
It sounds really good. I just didn't have no idea what you guys were talking about. Like I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah, they slipped a lot of these games in there. Yeah, we'll try to get a link in there for you. Maybe Grim's
Yeah,
on it right now, so he'll cover you. So it sounds like it was two characters in it. Grim was explaining the puzzle mechanics, which are, if you're into that kind of thing, you are, and if you're not, you're not. So you'll know kind of out of the gate if it's going to be for you. There is combat involved, and obviously, like Grim said, them being an archer. You have to kind of use the powers of both to proceed. One is a monk, one is a warrior. So it is one of those kind of games. It's definitely puzzle focused. Would be safe to say here.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. Yeah, once I get the link, I'll double take. I haven't heard anything about it, or maybe I did. I just don't recognize the name. But yeah, it sounds awesome.
Grim's got a link there, right there in the talk chat. If you are able to pull that up, you can check it out. So we have more news for
there it is.
There you are. More content coming for Exo Primal. I played Exo Primal for about 30 minutes and I just wanted to get the concept down. To me, I there's a lot of hero shooters out there right now, and it kind of is in that lane. So I am kind of an Overwatch purist when I need to get my competitive edge. So I was like, okay, well, but I saw a little potential there. I was like, man, this might catch on a little bit. I'm not sure if it has. I saw a lot of early buzz, and we haven't seen much about it since. But there is new content coming on October 18th, Season 2, which is pretty par for the course for these games. It's time to pay the piper.
Yeah, I unfortunately played through the entire game, so
Wow.
definitely more than 30 minutes. I wouldn't say unfortunately because like it is fun, right? But it's like my problem with the game, and I hope that I don't think Season 2 is going to do it, but maybe it does. But like as you're playing, there are cool moments in the story because you have to do like 55 missions to get the full story. And when you hit those certain like story beats, super cool. Like all the primal like exo primal suits come together and they have to like fight like a big, baddie or whatever. So rather than the PvP thing that you were doing the whole time, it's like, okay, this is like an epic battle, like sort of like a raid kind of thing. And then it flatlines, and then you go back to doing the same old, another peak, same old, same old. So it's like that's what I mean by unfortunately, because like I got spoiled by the story beats. And then I'm like, man, I'm back to playing Exo Primal again. I want to go back to like doing that cool stuff where it was like, 10 of us just going at it, like trying to stop this one, T-Rex or whatever. It was cool.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's be a little repetitive and not maybe what gave you the hooks in the first place. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, all my buddies played it and they loved it. It was I never got a chance to play it, so I think again there was so much on the plate. It was just kind of like, do I really want to invest in a new IP right now? But yeah, it looks a lot of fun. I mean, it's still on Game Pass, so we can always go back to it. But yeah, it looked a lot of fun. But hearing Grim talk about it seems definitely something that I might want to play or check out.
Yeah, because like even I'm not gonna spoil it, but like the last fight brought in mechanics that just were not communicated at any point throughout the game, and you're just like, but what's going on here? And then like you figure it out on the spot, and like the healers have to come in like, oh, I need to heal this person to keep them going, and it's wild. And then you could switch your suit, right? So it's like if the healer doesn't get the memo and they're running off doing something else, you're like, well, I'm gonna turn to the healer and do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of fun that way.
That's pretty awesome. I heard Kevin mention party animals. Maybe we can spend 30 seconds to a minute describing party animals. Have you played that yet, Grim or Kevin for that matter?
It does look like Gang Beast though, which that's what I saw. Like I thought it was like a expansion of that or something. I'm like, oh wait, it's an entire new game. So it seems interesting. I think I could have fun with that.
Pretty sure it's the same concept. These games are not necessarily my favorite kind of games because the mechanics are purposely not good. I don't know how else to describe it. Like
it's like just Goat Simulator.
Yeah, it's clumsy on purpose, so it's kind of goofy, and you're flopping around, and it's just a bunch of floppy noodles on slippery surfaces, and that might be the weirdest description I've ever used for a game, but that's kind of the concept, is you're trying to hang on to a certain objective, but there are some fun takes on that. There's a football version of the game where it's 5-on-5, and you're trying to move a football up and down the field, very similar to Fall Guys or Gang Beasts or Beats and all those other games, but this one to me was more fun, and I can't explain that on any level. I think the mechanics are a little bit tighter. The levels are more engaging, and the game types were a little more fun to me. And maybe I just need more time with it, but it seems like a perfect Game Pass game. There is some controversy, and it's the monetization. They charge you a lot of money for new skins, for chances at skins. I would say that is something I would expect to see in a free-to-play game. But the problem is this isn't free to play. They are charging up front. We get it on Game Pass. We're spoiled here on Xbox, but they are certainly charging up front on other platforms. So I don't know how I feel
this
about
is
that.
Party Animals, right?
Right. But it's still a fun game, right?
Yeah, my buddies and I, we're going to play tonight. We've been talking about it all week. Like, when can we meet up and play? Because we really loved Gang Beasts. Like, we have such a blast and we do stupid stuff together on it. So it's just like we've always had like a really good time. It's very streamable, and it's just always entertaining. So I can't wait to try it tonight. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about the monetization, so that's kind of new. I'll look into that. It makes sense though, especially if it's going to be on Game Pass. I think people should start getting used to that kind of idea that they're going to have this extra kind of concept to where, yeah, they're putting it on Game Pass, but then again, they're also not making that full money on a retail sale. And that's why you have a lot of people that are doing the early access, which some people have chastised them. I agree with it to a certain extent because, yeah, if you're just offering early access for $30, that's kind of a ripoff. But like Starfield, you got the season 1 DLC, or the first expansion DLC with it. You got some cool skins, you got an art book, and you got early access. It's definitely worth the $30. But this I'll have to check out and see what the monetization is. It looks fun, but knowing me, I'll probably end up dropping $20.
It is fun.
Anyway, so
the characters are adorable.
Well, yeah, like,
the skins are very tempting. Go ahead.
They have the Ori skin, right? I'm not sure how much that is, if it's something you have to pay for, but I did see Ori as like one of the first collaborations.
I'm buying it.
Could definitely see that. I saw they have the cat who's adorable, but it has a vampire skin for Halloween, and I hate myself for wanting it. Yep, exactly. So we will laugh and curse the monetization, but again, they know there are people out there like us, hello, that are just like, hey, please, I take my money that I could probably spend on something better, but oh well, I have a vampire cat, yes, that kind of thing. So anyways, I have played it. I think it, like I said, I think it's fun. I'll be interested to hear you guys' takes on it. Maybe we can figure out like 15-20 minutes to get a group of us together to throw each other off the side of a plane or whatever else is going on in there. It is one of those games too where when you tap out, you observe, but you can throw stuff onto the surface. I'm sure that mechanic is from another game, it's probably Fall Guys or something else, but so you can throw bombs and fish at people, which kind of keeps you engaged and can really turn the tide of a game.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking too. Yeah, maybe doing a let's play on it. I do have a let's play planned for later on today for Xbox Talks here. I'm thinking of doing Liza P. Okay. I don't know how family friendly we want to be because my friends they can get pretty explicitive for whatever it is. So I don't know if we want to do a let's play on that unless the audience wants it. But definitely Liza P will just be me screaming and cursing into the mic a lot. not a bunch of random guys. But yeah, maybe a let's play. We could do a let's play or something like that later on.
Yeah, those are the kind of games where I actually I start cursing and stuff, like the cutesy ones that frustrate me, and I'm just like, God damn, I just start throwing my controller. I've never thrown a controller in my life, but I've definitely given a few, like a fake throw, like not all the way. I've never committed all the way. I'm not trying to be on a YouTube video. Let's wrap up the Tokyo Game Show here.
These Xbox controllers break on their own easy enough as it is. We don't need to be throwing them and breaking them even more.
So is usability and durability, I actually think the Xbox controllers are great, but I did drop one on concrete once, not from very far, and you would have thought like I dropped it from a 10-story building. It just killed it. Like both the bumpers were out and everything else. So yeah, anyways, be nice to your controllers.
Yeah, I mean they've made strides from where it used to be. I mean the Elite controllers are definitely the most notorious just because of their price point. Here you're spending 150. You would think, or 140. You would think that they would be durable for that price point, but no, they're not. At least now they have the fixings for them, to go back and fix it yourself, which I need to buy some.
Self-repair, yeah, and where it is, the new controllers that were leaked earlier this week, modular analogs, which I believe means that you can remove and replace them, right? Is that what I'm taking?
I think so,
that?
Yeah. Which a lot of places have gone. Yeah, they have a lot of places. Controllers have gone that route. I mean, the Thrustmaster eSwap Pro that Mikey got me into, that's modular. You can pull that. We get stick drift, just pull it out, replace it with another. Super convenient, very nice.
That's actually how I knew what that meant, because I remember you guys talking about that on that controller previously. So very cool. And quieter buttons on that one for all you guys that keep complaining about that. Me amongst them.
Yeah.
The Xbox controllers are loud.
That new controller just looks delicious. It just looks so amazing. Just all the features. I really hope that, even though it's got spoiled, I really do hope that's like the final version of it already. And we're just waiting, because everything on there just looks amazing.
The pants controller.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited that it says Xbox Wireless 2, because I've been complaining about the date where it's it stops all the wireless controllers to being 125 hertz. I know it seems really nitpicky, but it's the little things. You know what I mean? Every other controller is 250. You can buy a wired controller for Xbox that's going to be 250, but as soon as it's wireless, 125. Please, wireless 2, be 250 hertz or even 500. That would be even more wild. That would be the fastest controller out of all the controller companies, I guess.
I definitely thought of you, Ivan, when I was kind of recapping the specs on what was leaked and stuff, and I was like, oh, I think this means that they're going to have a little less latency, and this could be good for gamers, especially fighting games and all that kind of stuff. So a couple last tidbits from the Tokyo Game Show. Hotel Barcelona just made my radar with the preview that we got from it here. It's a collaboration from Design Legends, Swery65, and Suda51. And I apologize, I have no idea who these people are, but I'm sure they are amazing. There's a lot of hype for this game, so that probably speaks to that. So I'm probably being a dunce here. And are you guys familiar? Let me ask you, with those developers.
Yeah, you said Suda, right? Isn't that the No More Heroes guy?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at the gameplay. Yeah, I'm looking at the gameplay, and that actually makes sense now looking at it. So what we have here is a 2.5D slasher film parody action game. So it's going to draw influences from horror's history, scary movies. You'll be pitted against everything from alien entities to AI-enhanced sharks, all while stuck in the endless time loop filled with serial killers and only your deceased past selves to help you. So that's a premise that really intrigues me. That sounds really interesting. So I believe this is a Game Pass title. I think I'm trying to confirm that. Don't take me for 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure. Which leads us to kind of the last game. Oh, yeah, right. Hate mail. Send it to Kevin. Infinity Strash. Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest, The Adventures of Dai. Am I saying that one right? I hope so. There was actually an interview with Sarah Bond in a Tokyo blog. And she is translated, and she said this was coming to Game Pass, and I got really excited, but I took it as a grain of salt just because translations get a little weird, and it turns out that it indeed is not confirmed coming to Game Pass, but it is coming to Windows on September 28th, which is very soon here. I'm a big Dragon Quest fan. I saw some pushback against this game though in the comments about it not being a complete experience or something. I don't know the details on that. I'm probably still tempted to check it out just based on the IP alone. I've never played anything from Dragon Quest where I just didn't have a good time.
Yeah. I
Go ahead.
wonder I wonder if that's because like Dragon Quest is such like a purist, JRPG where it doesn't stray from the mold too much. And I do know, well, I mean, Dragon Quest Builders I think was well received, but I know Dragon Quest Heroes, which was more of that hack and slash more of a Muso style game. No, that wasn't well received. So maybe that's why when they see this, they're like, oh, it's that again, you know?
That's interesting. Heroes I never got around to playing. I did play Builders, and oh boy, did I play that. Builders 2 is probably one of my favorite games of the last 10 years. So, and we talked about Yakuza a little bit. I saw some people that got hands on with it. They say they're loving it. I believe you're in Hawaii, right? Like we saw that trailer. That trailer was so funny back at the game show. So I know a lot of people are excited for this. Let's see. We got release dates for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth launching January 26th in 2024, and Dragon Gaiden: The Man Who Erased His Name will come to Xbox Game Pass release day on November 9th. So again, stop sending games at us. We can't keep up. We're all dying out here. Like we need another year of just a break. I'm just kidding, but you get where I'm coming from. Oh God, Octopath Traveler 2. I forgot to mention that.
Yep.
That's Game Pass too.
Big get for Xbox. We were getting that FOMO. People are like, "Oh, why does Square Enix hate us?" Well, you know what? They finally are throwing us a little bit of a bone here, and I also
not anymore.
things are a little better.
Yeah,
it was so. Octopath Traveler was so weird to me because one, right, was everywhere but PlayStation, and two
Right.
was everywhere but Xbox, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
did you ever like get to the point where you're just like, I think Square Enix is just screwing around with people. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
They're doing it just they're like the chaos kid or something. But anyways, we're getting, like I said, some scraps and pieces from them. Dragon Quest has been great support. And also Atlas has been really supporting the heck out of Xbox lately, which has been good to see with Persona and all those properties as well. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I think Mikey was probably the biggest fan of that series. I think you played it a little bit too, right, Ivan?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was
okay.
a lot of fun.
Good deal. I knew this was kind of in your lane.
Yeah, I didn't play the first DLC. I haven't gotten back to it since that came out. But now that there's 2 DLCs, I might. That's a lot of playtime right there. Because I think like, okay, for me, I don't know if you guys experience this, but like a DLC drops, like maybe I remember with Fallout, it was a bad idea where it was like, okay, new DLC, you play for like an hour and a half, and you're like, I just beat the DLC. You know what I mean? I just like carved out a whole day for this, and it's over. And then I just wait for 2 DLCs so that I at least have 4 hours.
Right. Yeah, Fallout 4. The last one was a little more thorough, but the first 2 were a little shorter. This is part 2 of 3 as far as planned DLC for it. So maybe wait a little longer. Why not just get the whole trilogy in there? Because I find that. When it brings me back into a game, that's great. But we were just talking about all these games we have. It's really hard to be like, oh, I want to go back to that game. But once I'm in there, I'll chunk it out. So, if I were you, I'd wait.
Yeah.
Real important life advice for you there. So I think we've covered the Tokyo Game Show, and we were trying to keep these shows a little bit shorter and more focused for you. So hopefully we were kind of informative there. We touched on the CMA, the new developments there, and a little bit about the leaks happening with that we touched on earlier this week with the new Xbox and all that stuff coming out in court dates. So maybe in closing here, I'll just ask you guys: is there anything else, like any topic this week, any breaking news that you saw that came over the feeds that maybe you wanted to highlight for the listeners today?
Yeah, Capcom, they announced DLC for Resident Evil 4.
That's
people
right.
seem to be, and I think that just like dropped. So that's one thing. And then Dragon's Dogma 2 had like 9 minutes of gameplay, and that's looking fantastic. I can't wait to play that. Because Dragon's Dogma 1 was such a great game, and if people who are listening haven't played it, that game is like consistently on sale for $5. So pick it up when you next see it, because that is worth way more than $5 for sure.
Bang for your buck is always a great deal. That's what I look for in games a lot of times too. So, Kevin, how about you?
I mean, yeah, there's the big Cyberpunk 2.0.
We didn't even talk about Cyberpunk.
Releasing with. Oh, you guys already did?
No, we didn't. We haven't talked about it at all. Give us a lowdown.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk 2.0, the next big update, free to coincide with the Phantom Liberty DLC that's released yesterday, I believe. Yeah, totally adds more to the game. I mean, this was definitely a game that definitely had a very, very rough launch. And now it's back better than ever. I think me and Batmat too, for one of the other mods on the Xbox subs with us, we were talking about redoing a whole nother playthrough because the update that they did, it like totally changes how the game's played. So new skill trees, unlocks, balancing, stuff like that, really changes how the game's played. I've already beaten Cyberpunk, but I'm definitely going to go back and do it again. But I'm trying to see if I have it up here right now, to see what some of these updates are. Oh, here it is. From Turbo Strider, he posted the link. I do not want cookies.
What? Enjoy the cookies, Kevin. Come on.
I always get that. It's like, do you want only necessary cookies? Do you want this cookie? It's like, I want real cookies. But
would you stop blocking our ads? That's what I always get. Like, no.
Pretty much, yeah. Click here to disable your eye blocker, or click here to just see it without. And I was like, yeah, I will always click see here without. Yeah, so they have a new combat. Some of the combat system, they have a new police system. So MCPD will chase you when you commit a crime, whether it's on foot or in a car. I guess there's different wanted levels, more akin to like Grand Theft Auto. There's now vehicle combat, and kind of changes how the vehicle durability is inputted and stuff like that. Various enhancements for AI. So the AI plays completely different now compared to what it was. And this was already coming from Cyberpunk, which was already in a good place from the last update they did. That was supposed to be the next gen update. And they just kept doing more for like Netrunner changes, a complete perk tree overhaul. So some trees now contain fewer perks, but the ones I guess remain have a more impactful way that the game is played. And we see, yeah, you merged into previous skills. Like I said, this is like 10 pages of different fixes and different balance changes that they've added. How NPCs act, the loot, how that acts, vehicles with traffic, just everything's been completely rehauled. So if you guys haven't played it, have you guys played Cyberpunk?
I played Cyberpunk at launch, and I've always kind of backburnered it since. I was like, I'll wait for them to kind of patch it up and stuff, and then it just got lost in the backlog there. Let me ask, this is free content, right? Aren't the DLCs free? So that's a big plus. And let me just throw in one more thing. I saw a really inflammatory post this week about, I forget who wrote the piece, but they were like, oh, Cyberpunk is everything I want Starfield to be at this point. And I'm just like, that is the most unfair comparison I can think of, because with Cyberpunk at launch, everything that you wanted it to be, Starfield is obviously, let's see Starfield in 2 years from now after their first DLC, after they can work on it and polish it to that same point. But maybe I'm just kind of nitpicking here. I think Cyberpunk probably is a better game on all accounts, so it's pretty, not trying to debate that, but I just think it's a little unfair to point a game that's this far after release as the one that's just come out. So go ahead, Grim. I rudely cut you off. I probably ruined your train of thought.
I was just gonna add about Cyberpunk, right? Two things is that even if you were to get like a bigger wanted level, from the police, you actually see vehicles that actually have weapons mounted onto them. And also, if you're coming back with like a previous save file, let's say you didn't want to start over, as soon as you go to your skill tree, they prompt you to reset your skill tree, and then you have one additional one for free. So even if you were like, oh, I don't really want to start from the beginning, but I kind of want to experience like a different build now that it's all out there, it's like, well, here it is. Start from scratch, put in your points, have fun. It's really cool. I think they did a fantastic job with the 2.0 update.
Nice.
Yeah. So just to clarify, the 2.0 update is free. The Phantom Liberties, I believe, is you have to pay for that. I think that is a paid for DLC.
Good info. Good intel to have. So I'm going to throw in one last news bit before we get out of here. The Division 3 was confirmed. I know we have a lot of really big fans, especially of the Division 2, the people that were playing that game. I kind of judge it like, do people stick with the game? People played that game a long time after release and stuck with it and really seemed to enjoy the gameplay and the atmosphere. So good move, Ubisoft there. People almost 1,000 upvotes in one day, which is pretty good traction. That shows you a lot of people were excited to hear about it. So thanks so much, guys. Or yeah, anything else that you wanted to say before closing here?
I mean, I was just gonna say with Division 3, talk about left field. I mean, that just came out of nowhere.
For sure.
All of a sudden it was like Division 3. I've been in Denver for the last 3 or 4 days on vacation, and yeah, all of a sudden like I'm waking up and I'm just seeing people talk about Division 3. And I was like, what? Wait, what just happened? It was like totally random or something like that. Just like a quick just announcement. It wasn't even like a trailer, I don't think, or anything. I just all of a sudden people were just talking about it, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's one way to announce a game. But I'm excited for it. I really like Division 2.
Yeah, and I know Ubisoft likes to kind of like ride out their franchise for a good bit, like Rainbow Six Siege. I don't even know if they're ever going to make a new Rainbow Six. Division 2, I thought they were just going to ride, until the wheels fell off, and they're like, oh, here's a new one. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, cool,
Yeah, and a lot of the comments underneath the post are, hey, I just got into Division 2. It's a lot of fun. I hope that they can take what they've learned from the first two and polish it. And maybe the third one is where they hit everything at just the right note. They finally come through with taking it to the next level, because it's already a successful game, but I don't know if I would call it top tier yet as far as awareness and that kind of thing. It's not up there like the Elden Ring and Call of Duty and those type of titles yet. So
third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm. It very well could be. So yes,
there was one last thing, major update, something that people have been asking for the last 6-7 years that Sea of Thieves has been out. With their new season 10, they are now adding a PvE server called Safer Seas.
PvE server and also private single crew servers, right? That's something else that people were asked for. Is that kind of the same thing? I don't know Sea of Thieves that well, but people were super excited for this. So you played Sea of Thieves extensively, right?
I'd have, yeah. I absolutely love it. I'm actually in a PvE server called Athena's Vanguard for anybody that wants to, so the only thing is with the PvE server coming out in December is you can only level up, I believe, to level 40, and then you only get about 30% XP gain and reputation gain. So it's not the full 100%. So I guess there's like a drawback, like, okay, yeah, you don't want to do the PvP stuff, especially since they closed Arena. All the sweats just went into the game and just started just trolling everybody, sinking ships. It became a very unpleasant experience. But I'm in Athena's Vanguard, which is a really awesome Discord server. They're actually endorsed by Rare. What they do is they all join a server and make alliances. So, and then they just swap people in and out via the Xbox party system. So they pretty much take over a whole server, make everybody an alliance, and everybody's getting XP. Everyone's sharing the gold from everything, and they have it very organized to where if you just wanted, they have a crew that runs story missions. They have a crew that runs what is it? I'm blanking on it, but yeah, they have like certain crews that just do certain events, and that's all they do, just over and over and over. You want to jump out, go join another crew and do that event. But you don't ever have to worry about PvP, and you get 100% of your XP and reputation gain. Everyone there has been super nice, super cool. But yeah, that's something that if people are interested in, there are PvP or PvE servers already there. They just take a little extra effort to get into.
Boo, extra effort. Stop. Just kidding. The comments were very happy about this. In fact, the first comment says very happy about this. I enjoy the world of mechanics, but online multiplayer games are massively off-putting. That was some JMC 1982. Maybe I'll actually play now. Might actually play now. I despise any game that runs the risk of losing all your stuff to a PS or PvP sweatshop, kind of like Kevin was just of alluding to. So massive win. People have been asking for this for years. I'm a little pissy that it's taken this long for it to happen, but hey, a win's a win.
I got a little bit of a conspiracy theory or hot take on that. I think the only reason why they are doing that is because of how much they've been involved with Disney. And I think Disney wants to bring more IPs like Peter Pan to the game. And I think they don't want that PvP aspect, And so having that PvE server now is a great way to get these kids that are heavily invested in like these Disney ones like Peter Pan. Even Pirates of the Caribbean is a little kiddish. But I mean, that's a little bit more oriented. And I think after that took off, Disney really saw the potential to double down on this game, but the PvP was such a big negative aspect of it. So I wouldn't doubt that Disney kind of leaned a little bit on Rare for this to happen, because they've told the community for years no. They've told big streamers no, we're not going to do this. Now all of a sudden they're doing stuff with Disney, and now they're like, okay, why not? It's a little weird. So either like Reese was saying in our other chat, either they're tanking on user numbers, or this was something that Disney kind of put a little pressure on them to be like, let's make this PvE so our kids can enjoy it without being ganked or looted.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
cool
but like
news
with
though.
the
But
with the tall tales though, like I remember when I did the pirates thing, right? It's like you would click, oh, a pirate's life, and then it'll take you to the outpost, and then you just like, sail your ship like maybe I don't know 200 meters, and then you go through that like arch, right? So it's like I don't know
Yeah.
how many people might have gotten hit with like trolls or whatever. I thought they were doing this because they wanted people maybe that young, like that young demographic, the plunder pass. Like I felt like it might have been more, with that in mind, because trying to do that plunder pass while having people just wreck your stuff, it's like impossible.
Yeah, well, I think that too. Also, like, yeah, even though like you do that, like it was kind of sectioned off in single player, some of the Telltale stuff. Now, I think after they want kids to keep playing, and there was certain ones where, like, I think it was the third mission, I think of the Pirates one, where it just puts you out in open sea. So
Oh,
now you have to like fight or hopefully go back to an island and get back to the tall tales aspect of it, or you could just quit and then reload back in. But yeah, there were certain instances that left you a little vulnerable, and they were static, so it wasn't like they were changing every new mission. People could actually literally see, oh, this is the next mission, I'm going to wait here, and then they would start attacking people just trying to do the single player stuff because all the places were static. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a lot of different stuff, and I think finally Rare realized, hey, this is the best time to do something like this.
Safer Seas does, however, come with a number of restrictions and missing features. For starters, Safer Seas
Mhm.
players won't have access to guilds, hourglass factions, live service events such as Gold and Glory. There's also a 30% reduction, or capped at 30% of the amount of you'd ordinarily earn. So you're going to earn 30% of 100. It's a 70%
Yep.
reduction. So anyways, there's some kind of drawbacks. They kind of nerf it a little bit, so it's because of the less risk. But again, it's comment after comment of people saying yes, 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 please, thank you. I can't believe it. And the Mad Lads have finally done it, basically. So we'll stay tuned. We're gonna maybe this will lead to an uptick in players. It certainly sounds like it has people excited. 96% upvote rate. 125,000 people checked out the post. Like engagement's really high here, which shows a lot of interest in Sea of Thieves, which is amazing. And congratulations to Rare. And this again further convinces me that we're never going to see Viva Pinata ever again. So,
And
just
for those
joking.
that want it, I will definitely post the Athena's Vanguard Discord invite in the comments after the video's posted. For those that want to check that out as well. But it's definitely worth it. You do have to do like a little bit of an interview process. They have to just go through, and they have somebody that walks you through what each like Discord server does, how to join, things like that. You have to agree. So it is very intensive to join, but once you're in, it's worth it.
We were just talking about like MMO guilds and stuff like that, and how there's a little more investment for these deeper social mechanics in games, and it's pretty par for the course, I would say. So you're gonna drop that on the YouTube channel, just so our listeners know where to find.
Yeah, it'll be in the comments, so I'll post it in the comments for the Athena's Vanguard Discord link. But yeah, like I said, it's incredibly. This was one, I think, the only server or the only, I guess, group that's actually endorsed or sponsored by Rare. They're like, yeah, that's fine. If you want to take over a server, that's okay. And they don't have a problem with it.
Well, there you go. So if you're looking for someone to play Sea of Thieves with, you can come hang out with Kevin on the high seas.
Yeah.
A Rare endorsed server. So awesome to share. So I think we're starting to run up a little long here, so we're gonna get out of here for now. We will probably could be back in a few days. You just don't know. We're trying weird and new things here, especially with some of the CMA developments that might be coming shortly. And you just never know with Xbox. They always keep us on the toes, right? You could be sleeping overnight, like Kevin said, and you wake up in the morning and people are just like, the entire video game landscape has shifted. But maybe next week.
I'll be on later on tonight. I think I'll do a let's play. Eliza P. Like I said, I'll post some of the stuff I've been working on, the assets for the streaming, in our private Discord. Yeah. Expect
Nice.
a Let's Play of either Party Animals or Liza P later tonight.
Nice. So, and if you're listening on Spotify, you can stop by our YouTube channel if you want to check out some of the expanded content like that. Sometimes we do game clips. Kevin played Texas Chainsaw Massacre a little bit earlier this month, and it was pretty engaging. It was fun to watch. So if you like that kind of stuff, come hang out with us. Leave some comments and tell us what you want to see, or maybe even come up here and talk to us sometime one of these weeks. We're always looking for ways to engage. So thanks so much, everyone. We're gonna get out of here, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Happy gaming, y'all.
Hey, see y'all.